with this album, what you're going to need, okay, again, I'm using medium weight chipboard. This is black chipboard, and you can pick this up at Country Craft Creations. And what you're going to need are 2 pieces that are 1.5 by 7.5. Alright, you're going to need 1 piece that is 4 1/4 by 7.5. Then you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5 1/4 by 7.5. Okay, so it's going to lay out like this. Alright, you're going to have a big piece, little piece, big piece, little piece, medium sized piece. Okay, alright, so this is how it is going to lay out. Okay, so now what you're going to need are 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11. Okay, I've already added 1/4 inch score tape to one side here. Alright, so now I'm just going to take my scoreboard, and all I'm doing with my scoreboard is I'm just going to line up my paper, and that's going to give me a nice straight edge. Okay, so being I have 1/4 inch score tape, I'm going to go to the 6 1/4 mark. Okay, all I'm doing is butting it up against the top here. Okay, now I'm going to take this other 8.5 by 11. Alright, I'm going to hold it up with my thumb, and again, I'm just butting it up against the top here. Alright, and I know that I need this one to go to the 6. Alright, so when you have it where you want it, drop it. Okay, just press it down, take your bone folder, burnish. Okay, and see, that gives you a nice straight edge there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my chipboard, and again, I'm going large piece, small piece, large piece, small piece, medium sized piece. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like, and I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch spacing between each of my pieces of chipboard here. Okay, so now this is what it's going to look like. Okay, and I hope you can see that. I know it is black on black, so I know it, may be a little hard to see, but I wanted to use black chipboard because I use black chipboard with my treasure chests. Okay, so I just wanted to, kind of keep it all the same. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this down, and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so now this is what I have. Alright, let me show you. Okay, down here, I did cut about 1 inch off, okay? Let me hold it up a little bit so you can see. See here? Okay, so it was, a little longer, but all I did was just cut 1 inch off, and that gives me about 1 inch on both sides, and then about 1/2 inch on top and bottom. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my stylus here, and you can use your bone folder, whatever you want, and now I'm just going to run along the top and the sides and the bottom of the chipboard here. And all this is going to do is whenever I fold up my cardstock, it's going to fold up easier. Okay, and I have some glue coming out, y'all. I'm not worried about that glue, because once I fold up this paper, it's not going to show it all. Okay, alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my sides. Okay, I'm just going to press them down. Alright, I'm going to go over here to this side. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm just working that paper. Just going to press it down. Okay, now I'm going to open those flaps up and just stand it up. Okay, and press down. Okay, and you only have 1/2 inch here to work with. So you really don't have, too much playroom here. Alright, so all I'm doing is I'm just folding over that cardstock. Just fold it over that chipboard there. Okay, I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, and I like to start in the middle with mine. I don't know if it really matters or not, but that's just what I do. I like to start in the middle and just push that cardstock over that chipboard. Okay, now that's going to give us, in this case, it's going to give us little rectangles here. Alright, see there? Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to cut those off. Okay, and y'all, these are just cutter bee scissors. I love these little scissors. Okay, and I'm just going to cut mine at an angle. Okay, and when you do this, make sure that you don't go all the way to that chipboard. See, I have a little bit of space here. Make sure that you don't cut your cardstock all the way up to that chipboard. And if you do, it's no big deal. You can always cover that up. whether, you know, it's with design paper or metal corner embellishments. You know, there's always ways to cover up things. Okay. Just stab myself with the darn scissors. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my score tape. Alright, I'm just going to run along the edge of the cardstock as well as the edge of each piece of my chipboard. Okay? And once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and peel off the backing, and then I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. So now this is what I have. Okay, if you can see all this shiny on here, alright, that is my score tape. And I want to show you, okay, on each side of my larger pieces of chipboard, I did add an extra piece on the inside pieces. So here on this piece of chipboard, I have 2 pieces on this end, 1 piece on this end. Alright, in the middle piece I have 2. On this center piece here, I have 2 on this end and 2 on this end. Okay, on this little spine piece here, my 1.5 piece, I have 2 pieces here. And then on this larger piece, I have 1 piece here and then 2 pieces here. Okay, and the reason why I like to add extra score tape in the middle part here is because whenever I put on my next piece and then I fold and bend up my album, I don't want any little bubbles or creases whenever, you know, I bend it up. I don't want anything extra along these pieces. Alright, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your, in my case, I'm using art glitter glue. You use whatever you want to. You can also, you know, if you don't have glue, just use your score tape. Alright, so now I've added glue along the top part here. And now I'm just going to add it right on top of that score tape all the way down. Okay, and then all in the middle. Alright, now I'm going to turn it sideways. I'm going to take the flat part of my bone folder. Alright, now I'm just going to press that cardstock up against that chipboard there. Okay, and if you don't have a flat part on your bone folder, just take your fingers and press it. Okay, now I'm going to spread my fingers out, and I'm just going to start in the middle and just work my way down. Okay, and I'm just going to take my bone folder. See that glue coming out? It's no big deal. Alright, I'm just going to press that down. Alright, now I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I'm going to take my glue, add it right on top of that chipboard, or yeah, right on top of the chipboard along the cardstock. Go right along the top on top of that score tape, all in the middle. Again, you just take, press it. Okay, spread your fingers out and lay it down. Take your bone folder, just flatten it out, just press and burnish. Okay, now on your sides here, you want to take your bone folder, and I just like to push mine down here. And then on the bottom, I'll just push it up. Okay, and then all that's doing is just going to give you a nice clean edge whenever you fold up your corners. And I'm not going to lie, y'all, sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. In my case, anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to press that paper in, press the paper up. Okay, I'm going to take my glue, run along the side here, up the sides, down the top, or whatever you want to call that side, in the middle. Okay, press it, burnish it down. Okay, and see, it gives you a nice clean edge there on your corners. Alright, I'm going to turn it around, do the same thing on this side. Run that glue all the way around, right on top of that score tape, all in the middle. Okay, take and press that paper up against that chipboard, lay it down, press and burnish. There you go. Alright, now I need to cover the inside here. I always like to cover the outside and the inside of my album. That's just, you know, personal preference. That's just something that I like to do. So now what you're going to need is you're going to need 2 pieces that are 7 1/4 by 9. Okay, and I've already added 1/4 inch score tape to one of mine. Alright, I'm going to set this up to the side. And we're going to do it just like we did before. Alright, I'm going to take my scoreboard just to line up these papers. Take the backing off of that score tape. Alright, I'm going to take it to the 6 1/4. And I know this piece here needs to go to the 6. Alright, when you have it where you want it, drop it, press. Okay, and you see here, this time I didn't get a perfect straight edge, and that's no big deal. But, you know, it's going to be about as straight as you can get it whenever you use your scoreboard. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ATG, I'm going to run tape all along here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so you see here, I have added my ATG tape, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my album cover here, and I'm going to add some glue. I'm just going to make me a big old large square, a rectangle here. Okay, because I really want this to stick down really good. So I'm just going all in between my little chipboard pieces here. My front, my back, my two little spines. And right on top of that score tape. Okay. I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to add some glue all over this piece. All on my edges, all in the middle, everywhere. Because like I said, you want this piece right here to stick down really well. And I'm going to tell you too, y'all, our glitter glue dries quick, so you have to, you know, move pretty quick so nothing dries on you. Okay, I'm going to take my album here, and I'm just going to center mine up, y'all. I'll get a hold of it here. Okay, you're more than welcome to measure it. I'm just going to center mine up. Alright. And when you have it where you want it, press it down. Alright, you want to make sure you press really well. So I have this large scraper here. This is a We Are Memory Keeper scraper. Or if you have a brayer. Mine went blank again. If you have a brayer, that works really well. Or if you just have your bone folder, that works good too. Just take your bone folder, work that glue. Okay, now I'm going to take my bone folder here. Alright, and I'm just going to lift up on the left hand side here. Alright, and I'm just going to start working where I think that seam is. Okay, so I'm just pressing and bending at the same time. Now don't go, you know, jerking on it. You just want to bend it slightly. When you find that crease, bend and work that crease at the same time. Okay, now I know there's another one right here, so I'm just going to do the same thing. Okay, when you find that crease, bend. Okay, let me show y'all. See here? There are no bubbles, no cracks, no anything right along in here. That's why you want to use that extra score tape and that extra glue. Because you want to have a nice, flat, clean surface. Alright, I flipped it around. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just working and bending just a little bit. When you find that crease, press and bend. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Okay. Now, this is what we have. Alright, and I want my smallest flap here. Alright, I want mine on the right hand side. If you want yours on the left hand side, flip it around. You know, you make it how you want to. Alright, now, what I'm going to do, like I said, I want mine on the left hand side. Alright, now I'm just going to take, because we have our outside and our inside covered, now I'm going to do my binding. Okay, and you want your binding on this very first little small piece here. Okay, if you remember, you have large, small, medium. Okay, so it is large, small is where we want our binding. And the binding, y'all, is just one piece that is 1.5 by 7.5. Alright, you're going to score it at 1/2 and 1. Okay, that's all. 1.5 by 7.5, score at 1/2 Score it 1. Okay, now we're going to add score tape and glue right here on this middle. My lighting's going a little crazy here. So I'm just going to take my score tape. And I probably should have had this already done, but that's okay. We can do it together. And I'm just going right here in the center. Adding my score tape. Alright, I'm going to peel this side off because my score tape is wider than my little space here. Alright, so now I'm just going to lay this piece right on top of that one. And make sure, y'all, you don't go over your score lines. Okay, when you do this part, stay in between those score lines. Alright. See here? Alright, I got a score line here and a score line here. Make sure now that your tape is not on the outside of that score line. Okay, I'm going to peel the backing off. I'm going to take my art glitter glue. Just go right on top of that score tape. Alright, remember, don't go over those score lines. I did right here, and that's okay. I can just wipe it off. Alright, now I'm going to lay it down flat on this small seam here, on this small binding. Okay, and I'm just eyeballing mine. And y'all, it's going to go from top to bottom here. Okay, so you just want to make sure that it's in between your two pieces of binding there. Or your two pieces of your front and middle cover here. Once you have it where you want it, press it down. Alright, and you see mine goes all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. Okay, now I can bend it. I can bend my little score lines here. So I'm just going to bend those up. And if you want to, you can wait till your glue dries a little more. Okay, so now that is my binding. This little album is going to be 2 pages. Alright, see this glue right here? Y'all, that's no big deal. It's going to dry clear. But if it bothers you, just take your little picky tool here, wipe it off. Or your fingernail. You can always use your fingernail, wipe that off. Alright, now I'm going to do the front of my inside cover here, and then this middle piece back here. Alright, so what you're going to need are 4 pieces that are 4 3/4 by 7 1/2. I'm trying to do something with my lighting over here. Here we go. Alright, 4 3/4 by 7 1/2. Alright, you're going to need 4 of those. On your 4 3/4 side, I'll write that down, maybe you'll be able to see it. 4 3/4 side. Okay, you're going to score it 1/2. Alright, I have went ahead and punched out my corners here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one, I'm going to fold and burnish. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and do all 4 of mine at one time here. Alright, now you're going to take 2 of them for the front and 2 of them for the middle part. Alright, so we just need 2 here. Alright, I'm going to take some glue, run right along that 1/2 inch piece, that little 1/2 inch flap there, all in the middle. Okay, and now I'm going all the way to my left hand side here. Okay, I'm going to go, not all the way, I'm going to go about a hair shy of the edge here. So So almost all the way. So about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Alright, when you do this, y'all, make sure now you line it up. Because again, it's going from the top and the bottom. Okay. Take your bone folder, burnish it down. See that little bit of glue? It's going to dry clear. Alright, open it up, press that down. Now I'm going to take my next piece and I'm going to go right here to the right hand side. Alright, but don't go over that crease there. Don't go over this crease right here. Alright, see my crease? Make sure that you're on the left hand side of that crease. Alright, so I'm just going to take it, add my glue to my little 1/2 inch piece. Okay. And if you need to, bend it, you know, so you see that crease. Alright, I can see my crease now. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I can see it. Okay, I'm going to go to the left of that crease. Alright, making sure everything is lined up at the top and the bottom here. Alright, then I'm going to burnish it down, open it up, burnish it down. Okay, so now we have a left and a right flap. Okay, now we're going to go to the middle section here and we're going to do the same thing. Alright, I'm going to take a flap, add my glue to my little 1/2 inch piece here. Alright, and again, make sure that you don't go over that crease there. So bend it up so you can see that crease. Alright, I see my crease here. So I want to go over to the right hand side about 1/8 of an inch. Alright, making sure that it's lined up at the top and the bottom here. Take your bone folder, press it down. Open it up, press. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So make sure again you can see where your crease is. Okay. So add your glue. Okay. Bend it up now so you can see that crease. And I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch away from that crease on the inside. Okay, press, burnish, open it up, press it again. Alright, so now we have our flap in the middle here. Alright, now I'm going to do my right hand side here. Okay, so now what I need are 2 pieces that are 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, on your 4 3/4 side, you're going to score it 1/2. Again, I went ahead and punched mine out. And the punch that I use, y'all, I used the stub side of the We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. Okay, so I'm going to fold down and burnish each of these score lines. Alright, before you glue these on, you want to check it. Okay, because we're going all the way to the right hand side. Well, about all the way to the right hand side. We're going to do it just like we did on the front. Okay, we're going to go about 1/8 of an inch. See that little spacing right there? Alright, we're going to do the same thing over here. Alright, so I have it at 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. But your, make sure I got this side right now. Your 4 1/4 side, you may have to cut a little bit of it off. Alright, so I am going to have to trim some of mine off. So let me get my little small trimmer here. Alright. And all I'm going to do, y'all, is I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, if you want to measure yours out, you go right ahead. And I'm going to go just, you know, a little less than 4 1/4. Okay, now I'm going to check that and see if that works. Alright, I need to trim a little bit more off. Okay, so I'm just going to trim a little more off. Alright, now I don't want to cut, you know, too much. Okay, so now that's going to work. Alright, so now I need to repunch my little spot here. Okay, and I also need to trim this one off. So I'm just going to take it, and you see here I didn't measure it, I just eyeballed it, and it worked out. Okay, so again, I need to repunch this one. Okay, now I'm going to take it, I'm going to place one flap here at the top, one flap here at the bottom. Alright, so I'm just going to add my glue to my little 1/2 inch piece. Alright, now I'm going to do the bottom one first. Okay, I'm going all the way to the bottom. And I'm not all the way to the side here. Alright, I have just a little bit of a spacing there. And again, I'm not on that crease line there either. Make sure you don't go over that crease there. Okay, take my next little piece, add my glue. Now this time I'm going to the top. Okay, but I want to make sure it's lined up with this one. Alright, and again, I'm going all the way to the top. I think I'm all the way at the top. Can't really see here. Can't put my head over the camera. Alright, when you have it where you want it, press it down. Open them up, press them down. See that glue coming out? No big deal. Alright. Now, we have a top and a bottom flap. Alright, now we're going to make 2 page bases, and all you're going to need, alright, you're going to need 2 of them, 7.5 by 10. Okay, on your 10-inch side, you're going to score it at 5. Alright, so I'm going to fold it and burnish it on that 5. And when I do this, I want to make sure that it is lined up here at the top and the bottom. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fold both of them. Okay, now I need to add score tape to my little binding strips here. So I'm just going to add score tape on both sides of my little binding pieces here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I've added score tape to both sides of my little 1/2 inch flaps here, now what I'm going to do, alright, is I'm going to start on the back. Okay, so I'm just going to open this up. Alright, I'm going to lay this one flap down. Okay, so right now I'm just dry fitting. Okay, so I want to make sure it is straight and get my head around here. My head's in the way, I do apologize. Alright, but I want to make sure that's straight. Okay, so whenever I lay that down, it's going to work. Alright, I'm going to hold my piece there, peel this backing off, grab my glue, add some glue right on top of that score tape. Okay, now I'm just going to lay that down, take my bone folder, press it down. Alright, now I'm going to take the backing off of this side, which is the front side of my score tape. Okay, again, I'm just going to add my glue right on top of that score tape. And I'm also going to add some glue right along the bottom here. Okay, now I'm just going to close it up. Alright, and that is our page base. So I'm just going to take my bone folder, press that down. Alright, if you have glue come out here at the bottom, wipe it off. It's no big deal. Y'all wipe that glue off. Okay, so now we have our page base in. Alright, now I'm going to do the same thing on this little flap. Okay, this is your front, this is your back. Alright, we're going to take our page here. Alright, we're just going to lay it down, making sure you have everything straight. Alright, let me stick my head around here again, making sure I have it all where I need it. Okay, now let me tell you, don't go all the way to your little 1/2 inch piece here. You want to go about 1/8 of an inch away from that flap. Okay, I'm going to add my glue right on top. Lay that down. Take your bone folder, press it down. Okay, take the backing off of that tape. And you see, y'all, this is the easiest way to add a page. to make you a little page base here. Alright, again, I'm just going to run that glue along the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to press it down. Alright, take your bone folder, press and work that glue. Alright, go along the side here. And again, if you have glue come out, just wipe it off. Okay. Now we have 2 pages in. See how quick was that? Quick, quick, quick and easy. Alright, now, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. Alright, page 1 and page 4 are going to be the same. Page 2 and page 3 are going to be the same. Alright, so for page 1, you're going to need a piece that is 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. Alright, I've already punched out my sides here. On your 4 3/4 side, you're going to score it a half. Fold down, burnish. Okay. And let me get my little mock-up piece here so I know, okay? Alright, so we want to go to the right-hand side. Not all the way to the top, not all the way to the bottom. We're going to go in the center here. So I'm just going to take my glue, add right on that little 1/2 inch piece. Okay, and I'm just eyeballing mine, y'all. If you want to, you can measure it. Alright, but I'm just going all the way to the right-hand side. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. Okay, so now we have a little small flap here. Alright, now, on the inside here, you're going to need 4 smaller flaps. 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. Alright, you're going to need 4 of those. On your 3 3/4 side, you're going to score it a half. Okay, so we're going to take, fold, and burnish each one of these. Alright, and these I did not punch out because I wanted to use my cut-aparts for this. And I didn't want to cut the edges, punch out, you know, the edges of them. Alright, so I have 4 of them. Okay, I'm going to take one, add my glue. Okay, I'm going to go right on top of this one that I just placed down, but I don't want to go all the way up against that score line there. Okay, I don't want it to go all the way here. Alright, so I'm going to go just a hair over. I'm going to go all the way to the top. Okay, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so see here, I have just a tiny spacing there. Alright, see it right there? So you want to make sure that you don't go over this score line here, because you want this flap right here to close. Alright, so I'm going to open that flap up. I'm going to place another flap right here. Alright, and again, I'm going to go just a hair over, so I'm not going over that score line as well. Okay, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. Making sure you move it over a little bit so you're not on that score line. Okay, and I'm a little bit close. I'm trying to press it over. Okay, so that glue come out, no big deal. Alright, so now I have 2 little flaps and then a larger flap. Alright, and see everything closes down because I did not go over the score lines. Okay, now I'm going to go to the left hand side. I'm going to add 2 little flaps. Alright, I'm going to go to the top. Okay, lay it down, press it, open it, press it, see that little glue, no big deal. Alright, one more flap. Going to add our glue. Okay, and again, I don't want to go over this score line. So I'm going to go, you know, close to the score line, but not over it. Alright, and again, I'm going all the way to the bottom. Okay, take and press, open it up and press. Alright, So see here, I have a little spacing here as well. Alright, so now this is what we have. Okay, so we're going to have this little flap, these two little flaps going to the left, two little flaps going to the right. Alright, now I'm going to flip it over. Page 2 and page 3 are going to mirror each other. So what you're going to need, you're going to need 4 pieces that are 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. Alright, I've already punched out my edges. On your 4 3/4 side, you're going to score it a half. Okay, we're going to fold down and burnish each of our score lines. And I will have all of the measurements in the description bar below. So if you want to go ahead and cut out all of your papers beforehand, you go right ahead. Alright, now I need 2 for page 3, 2 for page 2 for page 2, 2 for page 3. Alright, so I'm going to do it the same as what I've done this first flap here. Okay, so I'm just going to take and add my glue to my little 1/2 inch flap. Okay, I'm not going all the way to the top, I'm not going all the way to the bottom. I'm going to go here in the center. And again, if you want to measure yours, you go right ahead. I just like to eyeball mine. Take, press and burnish. Open it up and burnish. Got some glue. Okay, I'm going to take my next little flap. Add my glue. Alright, now this time I'm going to close this up so I can get them straight. Alright, remember, don't go over this seam here. Don't go over that little score line there. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down, make sure I have it where I want it, make sure it is straight. Then I'm going to press and burnish. Open it up, press it again. See, glue, wipe it off. If you can't get it all the way off, take your little pick tool or whatever. And if you don't have a pick tool, like to get this glue off, go get you a toothpick. A toothpick works just as good. Alright, so now we have 2 flaps here. Alright, now I'm going to do the same thing here on page 3. So I'm going to take a flap, add my glue. Okay, and I want these to line up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this one so I can lay it up against this one. Alright, I'm going all the way to the edge. Okay, and I'm laying it right on top of that one so I can make sure that it's straight. Okay, I'm just going to press it. Flip that one back over now. Okay, I'm just going to press it here on the inside. Okay, now I need to add one to the left hand side here. So I'm just going to take my last little flap, add my glue. Okay, and now with this one closed, I'm going to lay it right on top. Again, I'm not going all the way on that seam there. Okay, so make sure you don't go down here on your seam. Press it down, open it up, press. Alright, got some glue coming out. Okay, so now we have our 2 flaps here. Now I'm going to flip it over, and now we have the last page, page 4. Remember, it is the same as page 1. So you're going to need a piece that is 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. On your 4 3/4 side, you're going to score it a half. I've already punched out my corners here. We're going to fold down and burnish. Okay, I'm going to take my glue, add it here, right on my little 1/2 inch piece. Okay, now I'm going to the left hand side, not all the way to the top, not all the way to the bottom. Okay, when you have it where you want it, press it down, burnish it. Alright, see, I got some glue coming out up here at the top, and see, I can't reach down in there, so that's no big deal. It's going to dry clear. Alright, so now I'm just going to open this flap, and you're going to need 4 smaller flaps that are 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. You need 4 of those. On your 3 3/4 side, you're going to score it a half. Alright, we're going to fold down and burnish each of those. Okay. And y'all, if you want to punch out these sides, you go right ahead. If you want to use a decorative punch, a border punch, you go right ahead. A border die. You know, you use whatever you want to use. I like to show y'all simple and easy because I like, you know, for my albums, I like beginners. You know, I love to make albums that beginners can do because, you know, we all started somewhere. But, you know, this is a perfect little beginner's album. So, now what I'm going to do is take one of my flaps, take my 1/2 inch piece here, add some glue. Alright, now I'm going right on top of this. Remember, don't go over that score line. Okay, but I'm going all the way to the top. Okay, press it, burnish, open it up, press it. Alright, take another flap, add your glue. Okay, now with this flap open, I'm going to place one here at the bottom, all the way toward the side, but not over that seam, not over that score line there. Okay. Alright. And again, y'all see some glue coming out. No big deal. Alright, now I'm going to add 2 flaps here on the right hand side. Take one of my flaps, add my glue. Okay, I'm going to the, let me see how I done this first one here. Did I do the top? Yep, let's do the top first. Okay. So again, you don't want to go all the way to your seam down here, but you want to go pretty close. Okay, open it up, burnish it down, take your last little flap, add some glue. Alright, go all the way to the bottom. Don't go over this little seam here, over that little score line. Okay, burnish it down, open it up, burnish it down, wipe that glue off, and there you go. Okay, that is our album. And like I said, y'all, this little album is perfect for beginners, but you know, if you like the way this album is laid out and you want to add more to it, you know, say you want to add a pocket in here, you know, you want to add a pocket here, you want to add a belly band here, a belly band here, you know, a waterfall here. You know, this album is perfect for anything. You know, this is pretty much your basics. Alright, this is just all of your basic flaps. So if you want to add more to this album, let me show you. You're going to have plenty of space. See this space in here? Alright, so you have plenty of space, you know, to add more to it. Add some pockets, add some more flaps, add some belly bands, add, you know, like I said, waterfall, whatever you want to add. You know, it's your album. You make it the way you want to. But this is pretty much your basic layout. Alright, now, if you want to add magnets, go ahead and add those before you add on your design paper. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little X here, so I know I need a magnet here. Okay, and it's going to catch up here. Okay, so I'm going to put a magnet here, let it catch on this one. Alright, so that one will be closed. Here, I'm going to put a magnet on this little flap here. Okay, this is page 1. Alright, so I'm going to put a magnet here. Well, yep, and I'm going to let it catch here, so maybe I need to move it up some. Okay, so I'm just going to, and if nothing else, I'll put a smaller magnet here and a smaller magnet here, and it'll catch here and here. Okay, so I may put 2 magnets on these little smaller flaps. Alright, I'm going to flip it over, page 2 and page 3. Put your magnet on here. Let it catch over here. Alright, on this side. Put your magnet here. Let it catch here. Okay? Then again, on your back side. Take two little smaller magnets, or you know, whatever you have. Let them catch here and here. Alright? And then here on your middle section here, your middle back section, you know, decide which flap you want on top. Alright? And then you place a magnet, let's see, here, and then let it catch here. Okay? And then the front the same way. Alright? Place a magnet here, let it catch here. Okay? So if you're going to add magnets, you know, that's how I like to do mine. Alright? And so that's it. If you're going to use seam binding, go ahead and add your seam binding before you add on your design paper. Alright? So that's it, y'all. This album is so super simple, so super cute, and I love the way it turned out. And this is a Country Craft Creations design team project, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I want to thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.